Guys, what's going on? So this is a video that I didn't know if I wanted to make or not. Posted this on social media. I'd taken my rough script or my rough draft and kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Posted it on my personal Facebook. Didn't get a whole lot of backlash on it. Most of the folks with this that would disagree with me probably just couldn't come up with an argument, or they could and they just didn't want to. I really don't know. I don't know why I'm making this video. It's not going to get me anywhere. Not a whole lot of people will see it, I'm sure. And honestly, I don't care. I feel better, I guess, putting my words in a vlog or a video. Our illustrious leader has once again shot off at the mouth, just like a spoiled little 16-year-old brat.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. Fired! You know, some owner's gonna do that. He's gonna say, that guy that disrespects our flag, he's fired. The only thing you could do better is if you see it, even if it's one player, leave the stadium. I guarantee things will stop.
I still don't know why anybody voted for him, especially anybody that's a Christian. I mean, he's a bigot, he's a womanizer, he's a liar. He has a mouth that a sailor wouldn't even touch. As a president, as somebody that represents this country to the world, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So over the weekend, everybody knows he used some choice words against NFL players and against an NBA team, specifically one NBA player. These reasons are why the NFL players are kneeling during the national anthem at this current time. They're not doing it to spite our soldiers. These people understand that these soldiers fight for our freedoms, and these players have the utmost respect for these soldiers that fight for us. These NFL players, coaches, anybody who's kneeling on the sidelines of the football game, they're doing it to show unification, and they're doing it to show that they are defying the President of the United States. Not too long ago, we had those events of Charlottesville, Virginia. Countless people on social media, even news outlets, including the President of the United States, said the fine people or the good people had a right to protest or gather. These fine or good people that he was referring to were neo-Nazis, Klan members, white supremacists. We've seen events like this cause violence in the past multiple times. I'm sure you guys remember what happened in Baltimore over a police brutality case. The city rioted. The conservative side of things basically came out and said this is just a black problem, that it wasn't the right way to protest. And I completely agree with that. Protests should be peaceful. On the flip side of that, players kneeling during the national anthem over the past year or so, they've been doing it in a peaceful protest against police brutality on black men. Some cases, yes, that's the truth. Some cases I think are over-exaggerated. But that's the reason they're doing it. They're not doing it to spite the flag. They're not doing it in defiance of any of our soldiers. So as far as respecting the flag, me personally, I am the kind of person that when I am at a sporting event, when I'm out in public, and the national anthem plays, I stand. I always have, and I always will. And I think everybody should. That's just part of it. But looking at that, how many of you, when you're sitting at home and the national anthem plays, how many of you stop what you're doing and stand while the national anthem is playing on television? Any of you? I don't think so. No, none of you. With that being said, do any of you have a right to say anything about these athletes standing? That's a question. Leave your comment below. While I'm talking about this, I keep going off on these tangents in a lot of my vlogs, and most of my vlogs I typically try to stay away from politics because it can open a can of worms here, a can of worms there, and I don't follow politics that much, but I read enough to stay up on what's happening and what's current. I guess I don't understand why so many people are angry over this peaceful protest from these NFL players. They're taking it for something that it isn't. Everybody is taking this protest for something that it isn't. To me, you're defending, when you're doing this, you're defending a president that dodged the draft, made fun of POWs during his campaigning, and makes fun of disabled people in public, on camera, on national television. It's hypocrisy, guys. That's simple as that. Back when all this started, everybody knows that Colin Kaepernick did this, and he was protesting the unfair treatment of black men by police officers. And police brutality is what they called it, is what he called it. Like I said before, not all cases have been, but some cases honestly are. They really have been police brutality. Overuse of force by police officers, somebody that wears a badge. I'm not a legal expert, so I can't give all my opinions on each individual case, and I prefer not to, but that's okay. That's why Kaepernick was kneeling. He was not kneeling to say, hey, I hate my country. That's not what it was. It was not standing during the national anthem to specifically point out that there is still a racial divide in the United States. If you don't see it, just open your eyes. It's that simple, guys. This past Sunday, the players that knelt, they weren't doing it, again, in defiance of the flag. They were doing it in response to immature remarks made by an uneducated president. What I see here, and again, this is looking on it from the outside because I'm not involved with either party. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not a soldier. I'm neither one. I support professional athletes because I enjoy professional sports, and I support our soldiers because they are fighting for our freedoms. But what I see here is a group of folks, the same group of folks, that keep saying that Tebow isn't playing and was kicked out of the NFL basically because of his actions, his beliefs. But on the same token, you have another player, because of his actions, because of his beliefs, they say shouldn't be playing in the NFL. Both of these guys are devout Christians in different ways, obviously. You know, one is very clean cut, no tattoos, so on and so forth. The other one has biblical tattoos all over his body, dresses differently, so on and so forth. They're different, but they believe in the exact same thing. Now, I'm going to kind of leave that one alone because I'm not getting into a religious discussion, just as much as I hate getting into a political discussion. I do see and understand the other side of the story. A soldier being upset because someone is not showing the proper respect for a flag that he or she fought to defend. But that soldier did fight to defend the First Amendment, our freedom of speech. And that's what these players are doing, is enacting on their freedom of speech. Any of you who are not or have not been soldiers shouldn't be so quick to judge others. I'm almost positive that not everything you do is patriotic either. I mean, is your cell phone from America? Are your clothes from America? Are all the foods that you buy from America? The shoes on your feet, the car that you drive, half the materials in your home that were used to build your home, the light bulbs in your house. I would venture to say that 60% of everything you own is not American. And that's just a fact. There's not a lot made in America anymore. A lot of products you can't buy American. Now, realistically, is there a better way to protest the remarks that this president made or protest the actions of the police? Yes, absolutely there are. There's a dozen ways to stage a protest. Is sitting or kneeling for the national anthem the best way to protest? Probably not. What the president said was a gut reaction that had absolutely no thought behind it. The exact same way Sunday's protest happened, it was mainly gut reactions. But when you look at it from a protest side, the conservative side of things wants peaceful protests, and they fuss every time a violent protest breaks out, or they just make fun of people for protesting anyway. When you look at what you get with a protest, typically a quiet, well-organized protest outside of the White House or outside of a Capitol building, outside of a government building in your state, they typically go unseen. Nothing happens. But a protest that happens on a national stage, on national television, in the most watched sport in the world, people are going to see that. People are going to take notice. Both sides are guilty of wrongdoing, and both sides are guilty of acting without thinking. And it's not just been this past weekend. This has been going on for years. I see both sides. I agree with some things on both sides. I disagree with some things on both sides. This is the United States of America, and we will never agree on everything. It's our God-given right to disagree, and we always will. We will always have our differences. That's why we have two different political parties. Me personally, I'm not a Republican. but I'm not a Democrat either. I'm not a conservative, but I'm not a liberal either. I believe things on both sides. I agree with things on both sides, and I disagree with things on both sides. And I'm sure as hell not a snowflake, like most of you conservatives are acting now over this protest. When I vote, if you looked at my voter card, it's kind of split. It goes like this. It's like a real bad rendition of Connect the Dots. I'm divided on a lot of party issues for both sides. I skip back and forth. I'm never 100% for one single party. That's how I believe. I'm gonna get a lot of backlash on this video if it gets a lot of views. If it doesn't get any views, then I'll never hear anything about it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay either way it goes. I'm open to civil discussion about this topic. What I'm not open to is closed-mindedness. Again, I see both sides. I tend to take the side of the protesters for the most part, but I do see a lot of things that they are doing wrong. I guess what the Cowboys did on Monday night kind of shocked everybody. They knelt, and then as the national anthem started playing, they all stood with their arms locked together, the owner included. Which brings me to another little subject, fake news. And there's a lot of fake news going on around this. I've seen 2 major social media posts, one involving an NFL rule A62-63, stating something to the effect of NFL players being required to stand during the national anthem. That rule doesn't exist, guys. It's not real. Stop spreading that around Facebook and Twitter and all your other social media outlets. That rule does not exist. It's fake. Somebody made it up. 62 and 63 are pages in the NFL rulebook that state something about 15-yard penalties. I can't remember. The other one is a quote by Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. That quote was taken and combined from several different quotes and put together, more words added, and absolutely none of what he said was true. So that post is also fake. So I find it funny how for the past 12 months, the conservatives have been going on and on and on and on about fake news from the liberal side of things, yet social media since Saturday or Sunday has been nothing but fake news from the conservatives. Both sides are guilty of things. That's all I've got to say on this one today. Thanks for watching. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, please let me know below. Again, I'm open to constructive conversation. I am not open to closed-mindedness, but let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to share it. And I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.